Kings Island has one of the strongest coaster lineups out there. From big to small, kiddie coasters to the most extreme coasters, Kings Island has it all. In this video, I'm going to be ranking up the top 10 coasters at Kings Island. Let's get into it. So before we get into the actual list, I want to throw out the coasters that did not make it into the top 10, as Kings Island has 14 coasters. Most of the honorable mentions are found in Planet Snoopy, the kiddie area of the park. The 4 that did not make it include number 14, the Great Pumpkin Coaster, number 13, Flying Ace Aerial Chase, number 12, Woodstock Express, and number 11, Adventure Express. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into the first spot on the list. Coming in at the number 10 spot is Invertigo. This is a Vekoma inverted boomerang that opened in 1999. It has the typical layout of a boomerang coaster featuring 3 inversions, a cobra roll, and a vertical loop. There's nothing too crazy about the layout, and the ride duration falls short of anything spectacular. Additionally, the restraints on this ride are atrocious. Anytime I ride Invertigo, I find my brain being turned into scrambled eggs. Not to say that this ride does deliver some thrills, I will give it the initial drops. I find myself leaving my stomach behind on them. However, if this ride has any sort of line, I will not wait. Operations are not the best, and it's really just not worth it when you have other amazing rides to choose from, and that's why it gets the number 10 spot on the list. Moving on to the number 9 spot, there's a coaster that I have similar feelings about, the Racer. Obviously, this is a classic dating back all the way to the opening of Kings Island in 1972. Knowing this, I accept some of the problems that I encounter while on this ride, the main of which is roughness. Throughout the ride, there are some serious jackhammer moments. To add to the pain, the seats are not the most padded and the lap bars are pretty hard. The Racer does have a fun layout though, with good airtime hills, pretty decent speed, and a great duration. Additionally, if you find the coaster racing, then there's another factor of excitement there. Like Invertigo though, I will not wait a long time for this coaster. Both these coasters are just too rough to be enjoyable experiences. On to the number 8 spot, I have Backlot Stunt Coaster. This is a great family coaster, and I would probably say it's the best of its 2 siblings at King's Dominion and Canada's Wonderland. The theming on the coaster seems to have stood the test of time, and the fire effect is still used. I find the first launch to be very forceful along with that upward helix. Plus, the drop out of the dark into the quote-unquote sewer delivers some good airtime. While this might not be the most intense coaster at the park, it's a good intermediate coaster, awesome for thrill seekers in development. Moving on to the number 7 spot, there's probably one of the most underrated coasters at the park, the Bat. I particularly really enjoy aero suspended coasters, when done right. The terrain creates a low to the ground experience which makes it feel faster. There's just such a great sense of speed, and the ride is really smooth. I believe the Bat gets lost in Kings Island's lineup since it's really far away from the main park, which features some world-class rides. That is one of the major downsides, the long trek back to the Bat's station. I think it's worth it though every single time. After riding it a couple times, the layout does tend to get a little boring, so to spice it up, sometimes I close my eyes while on the ride. This makes the speed you feel even greater. It really surprises you how long the coaster is too. So for all the right reasons, it makes an appearance at the number 7 spot. Just missing out of the top 5 at number 6 is Flight of Fear. This ride I will say is a bit rough. It also has some dull sections on the ride. However, the launch is amazing, taking you out to the max speed of 54 miles per hour in complete darkness. I have always loved this coaster since the first time I rode it. Something about being in the dark and riding an extreme coaster just worked. If you're lucky enough, you could get a really cool ride operator that makes jokes and creates a unique experience. This has happened to me one time, and it was probably my best ride I've ever had on this roller coaster. And I absolutely love the theme as well, especially with the redo of the exterior of the building done with the opening of Orion. And that actually leads me right into the number 5 spot. Coming in at the halfway point, I have Orion, the newest addition to the park. I think this may come as a shock to many people, so let me explain. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I did a full review on the coaster when it opened. If you were going to go watch that though, brace yourself because I really harped on this coaster. I don't want it to seem like I'm a hater of this coaster, I just think that the layout should have been better. Not that Kings Island could have improved it much. I absolutely love the speed hill and the floater hill, but after that, the rest of it is just there. I also found it to already have a little rattle. The main saving grace for Orion is its theming. I absolutely love it. With all that being said, the final 4 on the list I think have a better overall layout, which is why they're above Orion. Moving on to the number 4 spot, I put Diamondback. Personally, this is my number 1 hypercoaster. It delivers some amazing floater airtime over the course of a very long ride. With that being said, it has gotten a little rougher than my liking for this style of roller coaster. Overall, I really love the bang for your buck on this coaster. The amount of time you wait for a ride like this can be justified by the layout. That being said, I prefer a lot more intense forces, which is why Diamondback can't get further up on the list. Now, on to the top 3 coasters at Kings Island. I have Banshee coming in at the number 3 spot. This is one of the best inverted coasters out there. The intensity of the coaster is very strong. Couple this with a great duration and you're delivered a world-class ride. The theme for this coaster is even pretty decent for an amusement park. The major downside to this invert is its restraints. They don't hurt my liking enough to drop it in any way on this list. Banshee is still a great coaster with great forces, which is enough to put it in the number 3 spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot, I put Mystic Timbers. I will say this was an especially hard choice for a first place. Mystic Timbers is one of my all-time favorite wooden roller coasters and the best from GCI in my opinion. The ejector airtime is outrageous and out of control. I really love it for that reason. Additionally, the night rides are amazing. You don't know which way you're going to get thrown next, which makes the experience that much better. That being said, I could not put it in the top spot because I find the ride to go by really quickly. I love the pacing of this coaster, and making Mystic Timbers any longer would probably ruin the ride, so I'm appreciative of the layout. At the same time, the coaster delivers something completely different compared to your average wooden coaster. And that leads me right into the top coaster at Kings Island, the Beast. Just like Mystic Timbers is super intense, the Beast is too. Not in the same way though. The intensity comes from the speed and amazing lateral forces. These types of forces are not seen much anymore, which is why the Beast is so highly praised. The ride experience is incredible, like you're on a runaway train. Again, the night rides are amazing as well. The thing that sets the Beast apart is its duration and character. The ride is a little more than 4 minutes long and holds the record as the longest wooden coaster in the world. The Beast is one of a kind, and you cannot find another coaster like it. So for all these reasons, the Beast is crowned the #1 coaster at Kings Island. Before I end the video, I wanted to add a little segment. I've been pushing off this video for quite a while since it seems like Kings Island has been getting rid of more coasters than they're adding. I originally wanted to do this video around the closing time of Firehawk, so I want to put both Firehawk and Vortex into the mix. Both are defunct, but they are recent. I would just give them a half a spot in between the current coasters at the park. First up to bat is Firehawk. I feel like I had a love-hate relationship with this coaster. When it was open and the line was moving, the coaster was amazing. On the flip side, Firehawk was hardly open during its final couple of years. That's one of the problems that come with a prototype coaster. Firehawk was a Vekoma Flying Dutchman, one of 3 ever made. I love it for its experience, but hate it for its delays. The ride itself was really fun. Definitely not the best, but really solid. So this fits in at the number 5.5 spot, right behind its replacement and mainly due to the difference in reliability. And last but not least, Vortex, the most recent loss to the park. I have to say the first couple times I rode this, I really disliked it. I found it to be very rough. However, the more I rode it, the more I liked it. I was able to reduce the roughness a little bit, overall making it a better experience. That being said, it was nowhere near my top 5 coasters in the park. I really liked the first drop and the 2 vertical loops. Other than that, the rest of the ride was kind of boring. So if Vortex was still around today, it would fit in at the number 6.5 spot, really only beating some of the less thrilling coasters at the park. So that's going to do it for my top 10 coasters at Kings Island as of 2021. What do you think of my rankings? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.